Okay, today's episode is going to be Talk Spiritual to Me, and I'm excited by this, but I'm going to bring you guys up to speed because I feel like this is original Rosie Victoria conversations, and there's a lot of you that'll be new to my space that haven't witnessed my energy, that haven't been on board these conversations, and I really do feel like what I'm going to share today has the value to upgrade every inch of your life when you understand how to utilize energy and continuously practice spiritual hygiene. Now, when I speak about spiritual hygiene, it is the number one most important thing inside of my life. Because spiritual hygiene is what gives me permission to stay grounded, stay activated, stay connected with myself, and feel a vibrational state that is mine. Now, spiritual hygiene is about continuously protecting your vessel. And although it sounds really woo-woo, it doesn't always happen through these crazy rituals and these crazy processes. It happens through unplugging from other people's energy, setting boundaries, setting standards, self-protecting, knowing when to protect your energy, knowing when your energy is absorbing something that isn't yours and how to unplug from that. And the more I got into the habit of taking awareness of myself in the spiritual realm, the more my life began to shift and the more things started to upgrade in my money, in my relationships, in my environment. Now, we as individuals are connected with every single thing around us. So your energy has an umbilical cord to every person, every friendship, every client that you've been in contact with, every family member, every single person and situation and timeline that has been in your life. And it is your responsibility to make sure that those cords are clamped and they are cut so that you do not take on anybody else's energy that is not yours. Now, we've all had that friend at some point in our life that has got a boyfriend, has slipped off the face of the earth, and they just become a clone of their partner. And they become a clone of their partner because their etheric cords are so intertwined that they're no longer individual people. It's like all the energy's just being passed down the etheric cord. They're just becoming this one big ball of merged energy. And it's the same for when we've been around a dense situation, a low vibrational frequency of friendships, and we find ourselves becoming so mellow in life, so there's no motivation, there's no energy, because we're normalizing it based on the energy that's been passed down through those etheric cords. Now, you will connect with anyone. It could just be a random person that you meet in the store that has a certain energy around them, but because they have passed that on unintentionally, you are now absorbing it. Now, I say unintentionally because I truly believe that not many people intend to pass negative energy into your sphere. It's not knowing what's going on in their own energy that makes you then absorb it. And I've been a victim of so many different psychic attacks that haven't happened based on someone having malicious intention about my life, but it's been projections of their beliefs about money, projections of what they deem possible, fear, insecurities, burdens that they've passed on to me because they haven't known how to process. And especially the line of work that I'm in where I'm reading for people, I'm helping people grow and scale their business. Naturally, there's going to be more projections. It's like being a fitness coach, right? You're going to get projections because you're always going to get the people that want to break the cycle but get back into the cycle. And you have to be really strong with, I'm not taking on your energy, I'm not taking on your emotions, I'm not taking on your beliefs. And that's a conversation for another day. However, with that being said, you can't blame other people for passing energy off to you. You have to sit there and say, where am I not practicing spiritual hygiene? And what is it going to look like for me to efficiently clamp these cords that are no longer serving me inside of my life? So when it comes down to etheric cords, there are logical ways that we can clamp and there are energetic ways that we can clamp. But one of the most underrated things that I find is demanding our body to communicate at a level that allows us to have a different experience. And this is what I find the most potent. For me, when I'm clamping cords at the end of a session, when I'm disconnecting from the energy of other people at the end of the day, I don't always have time to sit there and go through a 50-minute meditation on, deplugging and cutting off somebody else's energy. Who the fuck has time for that? I'm a mom, I'm a business owner. I love to meditate, but it's very rare I'm going to do a 50-minute meditation. So for me, what's more powerful is using my human vessel. And I truly believe that our human vessel has so much power inside it that a lot of people are not using it on a continuous basis. Now, when we're in the shower, we're naturally cleansing our energy. Spiritual hygiene is like taking a shower. You're cleansing off the energy. You're removing the energy from your sphere. So you want to be actively protecting yourself. And what is the easiest way to do that? Through command. Now, when we look at command is voice. Our voice is a command. And remember, we can tell somebody how we feel based on the tone of our voice, based on the way that we communicate in language, based on the energy that's coming to the surface. So like my children, they know when I'm like in playful mode, and they know when they've crossed the line a little bit of like, that's not how we behave. Because there's like a body language of like, okay, sweetheart, let's just think about this a little bit differently. And they get it because of the language, because of the communication. And that is me actually protecting my energetic sphere and letting it be known, like, I can't absorb this right now. And that's safe. It's safe to not take on energy that's not mine, such as toddler tantrums that are freaking wild at the minute, you guys, like literally next level. Freddie has fallen in love with like everything and anything. So the other day he took a COVID test to bed because it was like his new teddy bear. Anyway, so your body language, your command, your communication is letting people know how you feel. Now, when you are connected with someone through an etheric cord, you might not know who it is that is kind of feeding from you. But what you witness is this energy just doesn't feel like me. I don't feel motivated. I don't feel connected. I feel confused. I have these big waves of emotion, these big waves of insecurity. Or you might actually have this message come through that this person's energy is rubbing off on me. Like something's off. Something's uncomfortable with this person. I just feel like there's some like icky energy, but I don't really quite know why. You have to command your body to release that. Not through meditation, not through doing scissors. And literally, I once took part in a spiritual program that just literally told people to scissor the energy, which was wild. But through command. So command to me is where we outwardly speak and let it be known, this is not my energy. I am not taking this on. I refuse to take on this energy. So you can take this back because my energy is of the highest vibration. And this is how I choose to use my energy. I choose to be in my leadership, in my power, in my vibrational state. I am not going to take this on. So I don't know why you keep throwing this at me, but you need to take it back. And just last night I was in the shower and it was the end of the day and I was cleansing off the energy. So I was spending a lot of time like showering the crown and then like dropping it through the body and just making sure that I was really rubbing every area of the body with water and just like shaking off the energy. And then I sat there and I asked myself, like, where are the etheric cords connected to right now? Where am I taking on energy that's not mine? And I commanded it away from me. I spent 10 minutes commanding the energy away from me. And every time I was like, okay, are we done? Like, is the etheric cord broken? Spirit was like, no, more. Which to me was showing that my body language, my tone of voice, it wasn't coming across in the right way. It's like people were seeing, okay, I can still keep taking this. I can still keep projecting this. I can still keep implying this. And I was like, no, honey, no, sweetie, you can take this back. This is not mine. I refuse to take on your energy. I refuse to let this energy into my orbit. And so I had to get a little bit more firm in the body language. And I had to get a little bit more grounded in the vocal cord. However, by the end of it, I felt completely different. And I came out and I said to Lewis, like, I feel like a different person. I was like, your energy's been claiming from me today, and I just unhooked us. And he was like, okay, you want to tangle back up? I was like, no, absolutely not. That's the cringiest thing you've ever said. But what I mean by that is, you know, you have to command, and the command is the power. And if you don't command, this is something that I want you to start thinking about. How can you command the energy away from you on a continuous basis? And I remember going through a rough patch probably 2 years ago, and there was just a lot going on. There was a lot of different directions of my life that were pulling on me. And there was one day where there was a specific person in the family that we'd not had contact with. And we'd got no contact from a boundary, from spiritual hygiene, from self-protection, from self-awareness. And I was sat on Luna's bedroom floor, and I literally imagined I was having a conversation with this person. And I was like, hey, this is not cool. I don't value this. I don't like the way that this energy feels. I was having a conversation back and forth as though they were there and they were in the room. Come downstairs. I remember it perfectly. Lewis had made onion bhaji and sweet potato pie, which was unreal. We sat down, we were eating our pie, and there's this knock at the door. And guess who it was? The person that we'd not seen in such a long period of time, who had just turned up at our door randomly. And can you see how fast that shift in energy was? Because I communicated and commanded, like, hey, you're not going to feed from me anymore. So they were forced to face their energy in a way that then made them behave differently. And if you're not vibing with somebody's energy right now, you have to command. However, it's not always going to be comfortable to command that in person. It's not always going to be comfortable to say, get the fuck out of my energy in somebody's face without them wanting to fight you. I'm joking. I'm not that hurt, you guys. But it is acceptable to do that in your own space and say, like, I'm not taking this on board. This is not mine. You take this back. This is yours. This is not mine. I'm not taking it on board. That is okay. That's allowed. And through commanding it, you're going to have a bigger acceleration than probably sitting there in meditation. The thing that I love about meditation is it will bring my emotions to the surface. So it will help me release the intensity, the frustration, the anger, the emotions that are not mine. But I find meditation without vocalization, without command, is not as efficient. So if you really, really want to unhook these clamps and etheric cords in your life, you want to be commanding. The command is the most potent thing. The command is where you accelerate and upgrade the energy. The command is where you set a new frequency of like, nah, we're not taking this into our energetic field anymore. So be willing to look at your body language of how you go into cord releasing, and whether you're doing it in like a too-tame way where you're not having the highest and the best experience. Now, going a little bit deeper into that, I feel the best way to recognize you're in a state of etheric cord communication and taking on something that's not yours is to really look at your feelings. If you're constantly in these ups and downs feelings, chances are like something is triggering you into those up and down feeling. If you're walking into certain rooms and something's feeling comfortable, there's probably a reason why somebody's connecting with you. I even had it once where I went live and like somebody jumped onto the live and I was like, oh, my energy just went weird. But it's because people don't understand their energy and how to utilize it. Now, this has to be a continuous process, and I cannot stress this enough. The spiritual hygiene has to be a continuous process. And if you're not prioritizing this, you are going to reach a point where your energy cannot get out of bed, you're unaligned, you're feeling heavy, you're feeling intense, you're going to know about it. So it has to be continuous, and it sounds relentless, but once you get into the habit of it, you get into the habit of it. So when I look at me and I look at my sessions, I'll finish with a client, I'm activating my hand chakras, I'm activating my zeal, I'm moving the energy through my crown, and then I'm cleansing it off. And those of you who came to my event in Boston, so many people commented to me, Jess and Helena, of, I can't believe how much you cleanse after everything that you do. And I was like, well, that's just like a non-negotiable. If I'm going to be healing you, if I'm going to help you release energy and you know, step into this emotional regulation through somatic work, then I need to make sure that my vessel is of the highest degree. And it was. Every client, we cleanse. Some clients, it was like, this is not shaking. We need to do something other. And if you really feel like the energy's not shaking, then this is where I would get like a little bit more vigorous with the command, but also bring the body movement into the equation. And there was a moment in the event where something latched onto me. You know, we were working from a house space. We were in a beautiful Airbnb, but there was something in the house and I felt it. And I was like, I'm tapping out. Like, I'm tapping out. It's my event, but I'm going to leave you in the safe hands of my healer right now. I need to tap out right now in this moment. Like, it's not an option. It's a non-negotiable. Because I recognize there and then my energy is just being zapped. Something has just hooked onto me. I have no energy. I have no life force. Something has just hooked onto me. And so I took myself for a hot minute to cleanse my energy, to work on myself, because I was like, if I keep going and I keep pushing, my energy isn't going to be good for nothing. I need to catch this right now and release it. And a lot of people don't catch it in the right moment because they don't recognize that it's a psychic attack, that it's an energy vampire, that it's an etheric accord. And so they're not allowing themselves to clamp quick enough. You know, the minute you witness a colleague being iffy with you is the minute you start clamping. The minute you witness a family member, you know, stealing your energy is the minute you start clamping. It has to be fast, you guys. And you have to train yourself to have that level of awareness where you're constantly plugged into recognizing that energy. So if this episode has been valuable, let me know. Comment below. I want to see your comments. I want to see you celebrate what you're breaking through, what you're realizing and downloading through these podcast episodes. And Kate, this one was specifically for you because you asked a very juicy question inside the Misfit Business Lounge. But if anybody is on here and you have questions and things you want me to dive into, then please do let us know in the comments, because I will absolutely make sure that we cover them.